Alright. I figured do a little rig rundown. I haven't actually done one of these, and I've got an interesting pedal board, to say the least. You're playing in a 3-piece that covers songs that played by quite a few more people in most cases. You have to improvise. There's the both pickups on, everything set flat, tone of the bass. Right now I'm going through a little BA 108 Ampeg practice amp. My main rig is a PV Mini Mega with a 12 on top and a 15-16 lower cabinet, which is a 15 and 2/8. It's at our practice space right now, and it's 15 degrees out where I would normally practice with it here at the house. So we'll go with this tone. This is a little bit more, it's a little bit darker tone than what that amp produces. It gives me a really clean tone, fairly flat, great for at least the way I play. I've got a decent number of pedals. I don't use a bunch of pedals. They all have a purpose. I guess I'll start. You always gotta have a chorus. Right now I'm running a small clone EHX 4600 Electro Harmonix. It's not of a real appreciable vintage. It's probably 10 years old. I'm actually going to be replacing it with a bass clone shortly, so I get more control over the shape of my tone. Right now is where I generally run it, rate around say 11 o'clock, depth switch up for most of what we play, and clean tones. And with it on, it is a really nice, simple chorus. I'll actually, once I pull it off here, probably be adding it to my guitar pedal board along with the Boss chorus ensemble I have on my guitar pedal board. Next pedal in the chain is another Electro Harmonix pedal. There's actually only one effect pedal on my chain that's not Electro Harmonix. And this is a Synth 9. It's one of their 9 series pedals. Really cool pedal. I used to have a B9 with my guitar rig with the band I was playing with. Loved it. When I switched back over to mainly playing bass, the issue I ran with the B9 and actually the C9 and Mel9, all of them, is they don't really reproduce anything on your on the E string below your A, as far as very well, because the way they actually model the organs and stuff. The B9, C9, their organs, synthesizers. Mel9's a Mellotron. Then you have the Key 9, which emulates electric keyboards. They're really cool pedals. I actually am working on another pedal board that is mainly going to be the 9 series pedals. I use this because actually this pedal is was originally bought for one song that we cover, and that's we do what we call our Pink Floyd trilogy. It's On Thin Ice, Into the Wall Part 1 and Part 2. And when we're doing that, when it goes into the wall, it holds at D while the guitar riffs, and like I said, we're a three-piece. So it just always seemed a little flat. I used to have a well, I've still got a baseballs on my pedal board, but the Synth 9, I used to use this and some other stuff to try to get that sound of that Prophet V synth that's used on Pink Floyd. And then the Synth 9 pedal came out, and the guy at the music store I always go to called me and goes, "Hey man, you need to try this pedal." And the number 2 model on it is the actual Prophet V. And these pedals, the Synth 9, actually have 2 of them on the pedal board here. They will work down to the in standard tuning on a 4-string bass, really down to your low G, and recreate and work properly without artifacts messing with the sound. But I use that to get that like I said, that Pink Floyd wall sound. I actually usually tap the part to get the hammer effect of hitting the organ keys. Really cool effect. All 9 models on this pedal are usable. You've got to really tweak them, and the only and for your setup. But once you get something that works, it works really well. I had a Electro Harmonix bass mono synth on my board for a while, and I want to mess around with it, practicing and playing around with it, find some cool tones, and then trying to recreate those live. They just fell apart in the setting. But this works. As soon as you hit that section, kick that on, the whole place fills with that organ. And we've actually had people come up and ask if we had, if our drummer had a little Arturio or something off to the side and was playing that while we were doing that section. It really fills out the sound with us being a 3-piece. Next pedal in the chain is this TC Electronic 7-Up. This is actually one of the first newer pedals I added when I started playing again. I've still got a old 90s Russian baseballs, the big huge block. But this is one of the first newer pedals I got. It's really cool because you've got tone print on it. And when I got rid of my organ pedal, a guitarist I used to play with in a couple projects, he'd got one of these before I bought my B9. And the tone, this is a tone print pedal, and you can actually use your phone and stick up your pickups, and it has different things you can add to it and upload to it. But it's got a dip switch here in the middle, or mini switch. Up is a polyphonic octave, and that's what it is, an octave pedal. You've got a octave up and 2 octaves down plus your dry signal. The middle position of the switch is your tone print. Right now it's actually like a B9 organ sound for the tone print, and then down is a classic monosynth, or not monosynth, but a classic octave pedal where it's not polyphonic capable. This thing is really versatile. I do some stuff with it, some other Pink Floyd we do, where I actually, it sounds weird, but run a capo on my bass at the 12th fret and run a little bit different. Right now I've got it straight up and down for what I'm messing with right now, but I'll tweak the upper octave all the way up, the dry up all the way up, and then drop the low octave completely out and leave this one usually at 12 o'clock. And it allows me to kind of recreate. When I can tap and get kind of light electric keyboard organ sound, but still come in and have with this lower octave the bass tone, but then also kind of emulate a guitar, second guitar playing with our guitarist. But just the basic sounds, I'm going to leave everything at 12 o'clock right now. Here's the poly octave. Tracks really well. Here's the tone print. Like I said, it's like a B9 organ tone. It's polyphonic as well, so you can play chords with it on that setting. And then the classic octave effect. Try a chord with that, it's not really a polyphonic effect. It kind of bounces back and forth between your notes trying to do the octave, so it's really mainly for single run. Tracking is amazing with this pedal. That kind of odd tone I was talking about, I'll do it real quick. Drop that low octave out, leave it on the classic synth, but up above the 12th fret. Really fun pedal, works great with guitar and bass. These 9 series pedals, the synth 9 works great with bass. The rest of them work amazing with guitar. I know a guitarist has got a B9 and a synth 9 he runs in, well, 3-piece he used to run, and he stereos out his dry signal and runs a second rig that the actual organ emulations going to, and I mean, sounds like they got an organ on it once you get your attack down. Next pedal in the line is the Bassballs Nano. For years I was running, I've still got a 90s big block Russian, another Electro Harmonix pedal. Bassballs, using several projects. I love it. The tone is a little bit different between the old Russians and the newer Nanos. For what we're playing, it was close enough. If I went back doing stuff with my brothers or some of my other projects, I'd dig out my old Russian pedal just because it's got a little bit more grit to it. Real simple envelope filter. There's a built-in distortion. That's what this mini switch is for. And then you get a single cue or response control. Just a real, here's clean tone. Just a real nice, simple to adjust pedal. You got distortion on and off, that drive gets a little more girth to it. You can really push it with that distortion on especially, and get some really cool synthy lead tones out of it. Like I said, I've been using, between that Russian and this, a version of Bassballs for 20 years now. That's actually that was the first Electro Harmonix pedal I ever bought. Next up, the bass soul food, that Electro Harmonix pedal. I was using a Boss bass distortion for years, and I've still got it actually. I'm real bad about. I'll buy new gear. I don't usually get rid of a lot of gear because you never know when you can use it for something. But this is a really good bass overdrive. I love that Boss, but it just never. It was a bass overdrive, not bass distortion. All right, sorry about that interruption. This can be really transparent. Again, clean tone. I've got the drive set fairly high and the volume. You've also got this mini switch is if you're running active bass, it's a I can't remember what I got it covered up right now. It's a level drop, so you're not really pushing it too hard. But you've got volume, drive, blend, treble. I like this because you can dial in your treble. The Boss Overdrive did have EQ on it, but I could never get it set where it felt consistent. You blend in, but with this you can blend dry signal in with your affected signal. But even with the drive set, about 3/4 of the way up, it's still fairly transparent. It's not. And if you want that deeper, you can take your treble out. It's not super gritty like I know I got a lot of guys run a big run big muff with bass, and I had one for a while. It's not that harsh. Really cool pedal. I tried to get the actual soul food and guitar. A buddy of mine has it and liked it, and they got one of these and I had to try it. Next up is I kind of got out of order here. This is Stereo Electro Mistress. It's actually in between this Synth 9 and the 7-Up in my chain. It's a flanger and chorus. Another effect that fairly simple controls. Chorus depth, flanger depth, rate. The rate kind of kicks over between them about noon. For flanger, really simple controls, and it's pretty transparent. You can get it to go get a little crazy. Keep it pretty subtle. I kind of use it for to get that jet sound or stuff like that. That's actually run between the Synth 9 and the 7-Up. I probably need to change that order because I used it for a setting I would change on this for one of our originals to add a little bit of chorus effect after the synth. Next up in the chain after the bass soul foods though, is a newly added pedal. It's Micro Qtron. I'm going to be building the second board that actually is going to be running the actual Qtron Plus, the bass micro synthesizer, and I believe it's the Enigma cue balls as the bass pedal, and then maybe a couple other pedals are going to be mainly filter effects because the tones I need for stuff. This one is, we do some funkier stuff, and fairly simple controls. You've got mode, you got high pass, band pass, and low pass, your cue control and your drive control, the unaffected signal. I've got this set. Run it after my drive because if you want to add a little bit more to it, kick that sulfur on. Can get a little harsh, but I cut in on a lead. The spot maybe cover for a guitar lead. Really fun pedal. Like I said, I just added it to the board, so I haven't messed with it too much. We did a gig Saturday. I bought it the week before, threw it on here, messed with it, and used it actually quite a few times Saturday night at our gig. So adds just a little bit of flavor where it needs. Mainly some jams we did. We cover some older funk tunes, not soul tunes. We cover some Bill Withers and Sun Seals, and add just that little bit of that little bit of stank to some of the lines. And then last on the board is another Synth 9, because actually for two of our originals, I run this through the whole songs, and I bought it, says I needed a different setting for those two songs, so having to drop down and switch each time. I just added a second pedal to the board. This is doing a DBX synth is what I've got it set on, and it's a nice smooth synth effect. One thing with both of these, if you touch in between, you get some artifacting. So you've really got to be dead on when you're playing and come in a mute with both of them. Every setting on them I found is that way. The organ pedals, the B9 C9 aren't quite as bad. One thing on this one, to add a kick to it, a little bit better articulation. I've actually run with this microfutron. That in to add a little bit more articulation. Most of these synth pedals, they've got a emulation number 6 of the solo synth, and the vibe synth is kind of a vibraphone sound to it. Those you can kind of set up, especially if you want to use it for doing synth solos. Most of these are what I found, at least for my uses and settings, is more for sustained notes, because of both of them, the settings I'm using, you can get in and get a nice natural feedback going with it and get these notes to really sustain and bloom like they would on an actual Prophet V or DBX. Really cool pedals. The other pedal on my board is my Line 6 Relay G50. I literally bought this the day I went out with my current band, over 4 years ago now, and I haven't had a single bit of problem with it, honestly. There's 2 times I've had interference because where we were at, it's a all digital wireless. They were running a digital security cameras, and I noticed a slight cutout, no one else did. And then we were set up one time, one of our hometown bars, and the bar right next door to it had some guys setting up. They were playing a show, and apparently someone was running the same wireless, and of course everyone runs on channel 1 normally. We were set up, and my singer's like, hey, why are you playing music through the PA? Or, you know, he's like, that's weird, that's, you know, and then realized that it was the other guy's wireless coming through my receiver as well. So the only other effect I'm running right now that you don't see is I run a just a regular Ernie Ball volume pedal, and then I've got a small stomp box Boss loopers I'll run sometimes for messing with stuff. And like I said, my amp rig is a PV Mini Mega with a, I'd have to look at it, but it's I think the PV 112 as a top cabinet, and then the PV 1516 for the lower cabinet. Really nice full range tone out of it from highs to lows. It's got an adjustable tweeter in the 1516 cabinet. It's actually got 2 EQ settings, or no, it doesn't have a tweeter in it. 2 EQ settings in that 1516 cabinet. The preset EQ curves you can kick back and forth between, and how the crossovers work. The Mini Mega runs 2 different types of PV's Cosmos effects. If you want to do that, it's got built-in compression. That's a really nice, natural, transparent compressor. I run it always on, and it really works great for at least what we play. My main bass is, I don't know how we can see this. It's a 2006, 2000, I think it's 2007. Fender Jazz 24. They were made in Korea before they switched everything to Indonesia and China on their foreign lines. But it is a Fender. You'll see it as a Fender Jazz 24 Deluxe listed sometimes. Only 24 fret jazz bass that they've produced commercially that I know of. Is running Seymour Duncan bass lines from the factory with a 3-band EQ, volume, pickup blend, high-low mids. It's not parametric, it's just straight mid control. And then they've got what they call their slap switch, which is actually a built-in mid-cut low boost for better, slap tone. Here's with it off. And then with it on. I pretty well run with the switch on all the time. I could literally flip it on, unscrew the switch, and kick it back down the body. It'd never make a difference. I've been running this bass for, I think, 14 years now. Factory hip shot lightweight tuners on it. Great bass. So, this is went kind of long. So, but yeah, there's a gig rundown, and I just realized I can turn a light on here. I think. There we go. Gives it a better shot of the pedal board. There's my rig.